Hey guys, welcome to Pepcoding. In today's lecture, we are going to solve this problem, remove duplicate letters. Okay, so let's try to read this problem. Given a string S, remove duplicate letters so that every letter appear once and only once. You must make sure your result is the first in dictionary order among all the possible results. Okay, yeah, so this is kind of input, and there are some constraint data. The length of the string will not equal to 1. It would be of some length, okay, till 10 power 4. Okay, so S consists of lowercase English letters. Okay, fine. So let's try to understand it, what the problem is. Okay, so what we have to do, let's say we have this string. Okay, let's say my strings inputted this. Okay, b a b c. So as you know, in the question what they have said, that we have to remove the duplicate letters. Okay, so in this you can see that b is getting repeated. Okay, so b is the duplicate one. Fine. So what we have to do, what we can do, there can be two answers. Okay, there can be two possible answers. What? Okay, let's see now. Here in this string, what I can do, either I can remove this b or I can remove this b. Okay, so initially let's say I am going to remove this b. Fine. So what will my string be? Okay, what will be my string actually? It will be like this: a b c. Okay, if I delete this wait, if I delete this b, then what will be my string? See, if I am going to delete this b, then my string will be like this: b a c. Fine. Okay, so there are only two possible answers for this. Okay, so plus one constraint, that one rule was also there, that we have to return we have to return what? We have to return the first in the dictionary among all the answers. Okay, so there are two strings, that is abc and bac. What will be the first in dictionary among these two? The first will be abc. Fine, because you all know a is always first in the dictionary. Fine. Okay, so this will be first in the dictionary. Okay, I hope you understood this question, that what we have to do in this question. Fine, so let's try to take this test case also and see that what are the possible output: b c a b c. Okay, and another string is b c a b c. Okay, in this duplicate letters are what? One is b and another is c. B is getting repeated, okay, and c is getting repeated. Okay, so how many answers can be there? Okay, let's see how many answers can be there. Fine. Okay, so okay, I have how many options here? Either I can delete this b, either I can delete this b, or I can delete this c, or I can delete this c. Okay, so let's say initially I am going to delete this b and c. Okay, okay, fine. So here I am going to write what I have left with this bca. Fine. So one answer will be bca. Fine. Another will be what? Let's say I am going to delete, instead of this b I am going to delete this b. Okay, my answer will be what? cab. C. My answer will be this cab. Okay, okay, instead of this c, let's say I am going to delete this c. So what will be my answer now? Wait, my answer will be this abc. Okay, fine. There is one more possibility. Let's see what is that. Okay, cab. And now let's say if I want to delete this p. Okay, this c and this p. If I want to delete this b and this, so I am getting here what? bac. Okay, so I am getting bac. So I am getting here four answers. See, bca, cab, abc, and bac. Okay, so here what is there are four possible answers. Okay, for this string. Okay, there are four possible answers. Okay, so what I am getting here, that what I want among this all answer, that I want the first string, that means that will come first in the dictionary among all these answers. What will come? Obviously are abc. ABC is the one which will come first in the dictionary. Okay, because it's having a in the very front. Okay, so now let's see that how we are going to solve this question. Okay, now I hope you understood this question, that what we have to do. Fine. Okay, so let's say let's say my string is like this: c and b. Okay, let's say my string is like this. Okay, so what can I do here? See, what can be the possible answer? If I want to make this letter, if I want to make this dictionary using replacing or whatever, if I want to replace something, so CB will be the correct answer, fine, but I can't replace right now because CB is the original. There are no duplicate letters, okay? So this will be like CB. CB will be the first in dictionary, okay? Fine. So what if there is, let's say, one more C? Okay, what if there is one more C? So what can I do here is, if I want to make it BC, I'm going to check whether this C is getting repeated or not. As you can see, C is having duplicates here, so I can remove this C. Okay, so now what I want to see, firstly I'm going to check that can I remove this C. Yes, I can remove this C because after this B there is a C, so there will be no problem. Okay, so if I am going to remove this C, what I will be getting, see, after removing I'll be getting here BC. So now BC is the first in dictionary as compared to CB. Okay, either I can also remove this, but I don't want to remove this. If I remove this, then I'll be getting CB, but CB is not first in the dictionary. Okay, I hope you understood what I actually did. See, I'm going to tell you once again what I actually did. What I actually did here, I checked whether the previous character, firstly I'll check my preference is greater. That means if I come here instead of this C, so I'll be first in dictionary among all the possible answers, right? So and after this it will be after the checking the after checking the preference, it will check whether this character is present ahead or not. So this is present ahead, so it can be removed. Okay, so this answers will be, now if my C is deleted, then my answer will be BC, which is first in dictionary as compared to what, CB. Fine. Yeah, so now let's see that how we are going to do this question. Let's talk about another test cases also. Okay, so guys, let's talk about these test cases. Okay, so now I am going to discuss the approach that what we have to do. Okay, so initially let's say what is my string here is CB A C D C B C. Okay, so this is my string and this is the answer, actual answer, that what we need. Okay, so this is my strings. Okay, so here what I am going to do, firstly initially I am going to take two arrays, one of bool and one of count. Okay, so let's say this is my count array. Fine. Okay, I'll tell you that why I'm taking this. Okay, why I'm taking this right now. Okay, so this will be my boolean array. Okay, yep. So what we are going, oh, and this is my stack, and I am going to use here stack. Why? You will see. Yes, so I'm going to use here stack. Okay, so firstly this will be my count array. Wait, yeah. So this will be my count array, which will be having counted how many times A is occurring, how many times B is occurring. Okay, and this will be my boolean array that is C already inserted or not. Okay, so let's say what is here, A, B, C and D. Four of them are there over here. So initially this will be false. Okay, and A, B, C and D is here. Okay, A is coming here how many times? One time, so 1, and B is here 2 times. Okay, 2 times, and C 1 2 3 4 times, and D is 1 time. Okay, so now see, let's see what we are going to do here. Okay, so initially if I am at C, I have no option, I just have to push my C. Okay, in this stack. Okay, this is my stack, and after pushing this I have to decrease my count. No, when I'm talking about C now, I have to decrease my count then only. Okay, so I'm going to decrease my count here. Yeah, so now it's 3. Initially it was 4. Fine, and I am going to mark it as true. I'm going to mark C as true. Fine. Yeah, so when I am talking about B now, okay, so now I am talking about B. Okay, so I'll be decreasing its value, that only what is this count actually. Whenever I am talking about, now let's say I am talking about B right now. Okay, So I'll be watching from here that how many elements are there. See, after this element B is only occurring one time. Okay, after this element C is occurring only 1, 2 and 3 times, so C is having 3. Okay, so after this B, A is occurring only one time. Okay, so this is what we have. That's why I am going to decrease it right now only when I am talking about this element. Okay, so now my B will be equal to 1 because it has been decreased. Okay, so what we have to do, this B will be checking for C. Sorry, it will not check for C, it will check for this C. Now this is here, B is waiting here. Okay, so now it will be checking at the top of the stack. Okay, that what's the preference of this element. Okay, now it will be checking that if I get to come first. Okay, if I am coming first rather than this C, can no, firstly it will be checking its preference. Is B's preference greater than C or not? In dictionary, the preference of A is the largest, then B, then C, then D. Okay, because this is how we write in dictionary order, right? Yeah, so it will be checking the stack's top, that its preference is greater or C's the top's preference is greater. Obviously B's preference is greater. Okay, so my pseudo code will be like this. When the preference, that means my preference, wait, that means when character's preference is greater than stack's top's preference, and what we have to do, plus one more thing I have to do is what I have to check whether this stack's top, that means stack's top is occurring once more or not. This must be greater than 0. Stack top must be greater than 0. That means this element should occur once more in the string. So can I then I can see from here, right, that it is occurring in the string after all. So okay, so now what can I do? I can easily, plus one more thing I have to see whether this B is visited or not. I have to only write this B only once. Okay, so now what can I do? I can pop this element out because C is occurring afterwards also. Okay, so now I am going to pop this out. Fine, and after this I am going to write here B. This B I am going to write here. Okay, now let's talk about A. A will be checking the same. So now B will be true. After popping C, the C will be false here. Okay, and B will be true. C will be false and B will be true. Okay, yeah. So now this A will be checking. This A will be waiting here, and it will be check. Firstly, it will check that I am visited previously or not. Okay, so A is false right now. Okay, fine. So now it will be checking. So after this, it will be, firstly it will decrease its count to 0. Okay, now it's talking about A itself now. So after this position, there is no A. Fine. Okay, so now this will be checking the preference of B, that which one is greater in preference. Obviously A is greater than preference. Okay, my preference is checked. One thing is to check is, first of all, what we have to check, first of all, visited. Second thing, preference. Wait, second thing is preference. Third thing is what, uh, occurring more than once or not, occurring ahead or not. Okay, so yeah, visited checked, that A is not visited, and preference checked, A's preference is greater than the stack stop. Okay, now occurring check, is B is occurring once more. I will be checking it here. Okay, so B is obviously occurring once more because there is one more B present in the string after this A. So I can now pop my element, whatever my element was. Okay, yeah. So now I am going to do what? I am going to push my A here. Okay, now C will be checking. Now I will be talking about C. This C. So before talking about C, okay, one more thing I forgot to do, what? That I have to mark A as true and mark B as false. And after checking C, now I'm talking about C, so I have to decrease my count to 2 here because C are only 2 left after this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, firstly I'm going to check visited. Is C visited or not? Okay, it's not visited. Let's first delete this. Yeah, so I'm going to firstly check is this visited or not. C is not visited, that means it's fine. I can visit here. Okay. Now I'll check preference. Is C preference greater than A? No, its preference is not greater than A. So C can't be replaced or added. It's okay. So last option for C is what? After checking all this, last option of C is what? I have to C has to push itself. Okay. Last option is if there is nothing to pop or something, so character has to push itself. Okay, now C has pushed itself. Now what we have to do is I have to mark C as true and I have to decrease the count. Sorry, I have already decreased the count of C. Okay, so it's 2 already. Now I have pushed my C and I am going to mark it as true. Fine. Now I'll be talking about D here. Okay, now is D has occurred? No, D has not occurred. That means it has not been visited. Then it's fine. So now I am going to check its preference. D is preference greater than C? No, its preference is not greater than C. Then I can't pop this C out. Rather, I can do what? I can push myself in. Plus one more thing, I have to mark it as true, and I have to do what? I have to decrease D's count. Okay, yeah. So now let's talk about what? Now I am going to talk about, okay, I have talked about this D, and now I am going to talk about ACD. Now I am going to talk about this C. Okay, so firstly what I have to do here is I have to check whether I am visited or not. So I am visited here. Okay, that means this C is already visited, so I can't repeat myself once more. Okay, or what can I do if I want to delete? Let's say my answer is right now what ACD. If I want to delete this C, let's say, and I'm going to I want to push this C inside, then my answer will be not according to the dictionary. ACD was far better than ADC. Fine. I hope you understood this. Fine. Okay. So now I won't do anything, and after this I am going to decrease my C. Okay, I'm going to decrease my C. Whatever my C was, I'm going to decrease it. Okay, I'm not going to push any C. Okay, now I'm going to talk about B. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about B and check whether it's preference. Firstly, what I'm going to do, I'm going to check whether it's visited or not. So it's not visited. That means I can visit in my stack. I can push myself in the stack. Okay. So yes, the next thing what we have to do, we have to check the preference of the stack stop. Okay, yes, so I'm going to check the preference of the stack stop. So my preference is greater than the stack stop preference. Okay, so here I can pop it out. Okay, but one more condition I have to check, that it's occurring or not. Once more, so I am going to check the count. So count is equals to 0. That means I can't pop this D out. It's the only letter in this whole string, so I can't delete it. It's the original position of this define. So I have only one option left, that is if I am occurring. If I am not occurring, that means if I have not visited, then I have to add myself. Okay, so this B will be getting added. Okay, so now it will be ACDB. Okay, now my B is 0 and my B is marked as true. Okay, so now we'll be talking about this C, and we'll be firstly checking, am I visited? Yes, I am visited, so I don't have to do anything. Okay, now this string has been fully iterated, so whatever the answer left in this tag is the answer. You can see ACDB. So this is the answer, that is ACDB. Okay, so one more thing I have to tell you, that if I want this answer, okay, so I have to print this answer. This is the stack. Okay, if I am going to pop it out, it will be like, firstly B will be getting popped out, so I'll get B, then I'll be getting D, then I'll be getting C, then I'll be getting A, but I need it as reverse. Okay, A, C, D, B. Okay, so what I'll be going to do here is I'm going to pop one by one out, and I'm going to store it in a character array. Then I'm going to just reverse it and I'm going to print it. Fine, so I have to do this thing. Okay, so now let's talk about another test case, that is what, that is this one. So yes, now let's talk about this one, B B C A A C. Okay, so let's say this is my stack. and this is my what count array. Let's say this is my count array, so I can see from here is that A is occurring 2 times, B is occurring 2 times, and C is occurring 2 times, and this is my boolean array. A is initially A is false, B is also false, and C is also false. Okay, so what I'm going to do? Firstly, I am at B. Okay, I'm at B. I have no option. I have to push this B, and I am going to decrease the count of B and going to mark it as true. So it is 1 and it is true. So now I am at this B. Okay, I am at this B. So firstly I have to what? I have to check visited or not. It's kind of visited array only boolean that I am visited or not. Firstly check visited. Second thing what we have to do? Second thing we have to check preference. And third thing what we have to do? We have to check the whether the character is occurring or not. Once again, fine. Yeah, so now what I'm going to do? Firstly I'm going to check whether it's visited or not. It's already visited. You can see through the boolean array. Okay, it's already visited, so I don't have any option. So I'm going to talk about this C now. Okay, so I'm going to check. But firstly I'm going to check whether it's visited. So it's not visited, that means I can go inside this answer. Okay, so after this what we have to do now, my B is also equals to 0. B is 0 right now. Okay, because initially it was 2, then it was 1, then now it's 0 because I have iterated. Okay, now I am at C. I'm going to check whether I am visited or not. That it's not visited. So after this I'm going to check the preference. So my preference is obviously less than C's preference is less than B, so it can't C can't do anything. So and plus it's not has been visited, so it has to push itself in this. Okay, so now C is what? C is I'm going to mark C as true, and I am going to decrease its count. Okay, yeah, so now I am here. Now I am going to check my firstly I'm going to check whether whether A is visited or not. So A is not visited, that means I can visit here. Okay, now I'm going to check the preference of the character with the stack stop. Okay, so A's preference is greater than C. Okay, that is fine. Now I'm going to check whether my stack stop, that means C is occurring more than once or not. That means its occurrence is more than 0 or not. So you can see from here that C is occurring is more than 1. So what I am going to do, I am going to pop this out. I am going to pop this C out, and I am going to push myself. Okay, so when I have pushed myself, my A is true now, and my A is equals to 1. Fine, because I am going to decrease the count. Okay, so I'm now I am at this A. So I have already visited, so I can't visit again. Okay, so this A will not visit again. Now I'm at C. Okay, now I'll be checking. Now okay, so when I pop this C out, I have to also mark it as false. Okay, so now firstly I'm going to check that whether I have visited or not. So I have not visited, so I can visit here, visit in my answers. Okay, so after this what I am going to see, and my A is 0. Okay, so now after this I am going to see whether my stack's preference is greater than me or not. So no, C's preference is not greater than A. A must be in front of C. That's why it will be first in dictionary. Fine. So I have no option. So I have to add myself in this string, in this stack, and my answer is right. What? It's BAC. So you can see from here that answer is BAC. Okay. So this is how we have to do this problem, and we have to just invert this. When I am going to pop the characters out, then I'll be getting it in the reverse order. That means C, A, C. Firstly C will come, then A will come, and then B will come. So I'm going to store it in some array, and then I'm going to just print it in a reverse order. Okay, fine. Yeah, so this is how we have to do this question. I hope you understood this solution, that what we have to do. Let's try to do the code. Okay, yeah, so now let's code this out, that what we have to do in this. Okay, so yeah, so initially what we have to do, firstly we have to create a boolean array. Okay, so I'm going to create a boolean array here of, let's say it's that added or not. Okay, so I'm going to create this of what, of 26 length. Okay, so why I'm creating it of 26 lengths, wait, I'm going to tell you. Okay, another is what, another is int of, that means counted how many times these are added or not. Okay, so I'm going to count here. So yeah, so what I'm going to do here, okay, so my boolean array will be like this. Let's say this is my boolean array and all letters will be there, a b c d e f. That means its indices will start from 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. That means g and all, and there will be 25th index, and it will here will be z. Okay, so it will be first initially representing false false false. Okay, so why I'm doing this, because I'll know then after this that 0 is pointing towards a, 1 is pointing towards b. Okay, what we have to do actually, what we have to do, let's say I have some character, let's say it's c. Okay, if I'm going to, let's say I have a only, a character. If I'm going to subtract a with it, then what I'll be getting 0. If I'm going to decrease, if I'm going to subtract b with c, then its ASCII values will be getting minus, let's say, sorry, a, let's say a's ASCII value is 26, so b's ASCII value will be like 27. So 27 minus 26, that will be 1. So 1 will be pointing towards b, and similarly everything fine. Yeah, so I hope you understood that what I have done here. Okay, so its count is also there. So initially, firstly, in the boolean array everything will be false, so I'm going to do here what, I'm going to firstly count. So I'm going to count here, that is I equals to 0, I less than whatever my string is. Okay, then I plus plus. So here I'm what I'm going to do, that count of whatever my I is. Okay, sorry, count, wait, count of what, s dot get I will be getting some character, and I'm going to minus it with a character, and I'm going to what, increase this. Okay, so this will handle, it will be going to handle my count here. Okay, after this initially I have to do what, I have to create a stack of what, stack of character. Fine, yeah, I'm going to name it as st new stack. Yeah, so I have created here an empty stack. So after this what I have to do, I'm going to iterate in my string I. Okay, for I equals to 0, I less than what, I less than s dot length. I less than s dot length, and here I plus plus. Okay, now I'm going to iterate in whole string. Okay, so my first thing will be, firstly I have to access the character, that what the character is. Okay, so s dot caret I. Fine. Okay, so the my first thing to do is what if I'm having no options. Okay, so what I am going to do here is I am going to push my character. So I am going to push my character here. Okay, and then plus one more thing, if let's say if character, that means added, if it's added, first of all the very first thing what I have to check, if this character is added initially or not, previously or not. If it's added, then I just have to continue. Okay, so I'm going to check whether it's added or not. Okay, it is of a, if it's added, it will be getting true, and this if condition will be happening here. Okay, so after this what I have to do, I have to decrease its count first. Ch minus of a, I'm going to decrease its count, and I am going to continue my statement. Okay, so after this, if it's not added or something, so what I have to do, I have to first push this character, and I have to mark it as true. So added of ch minus a is equals to true, and count of ch minus of a equals to what, sorry, I just have to decrease it. Okay, so now main thing what we have to do, when I'm going to pop this out. Okay, everyone knows then what I'm going to do here is, okay, so firstly the basic condition what I am going to check, if my stack size must be greater than 0. Okay, and then what I have to do, I'm going to check, see, Okay, firstly I'm going to check the preference. Okay, firstly after this, if my stack size, and one more thing, I have already checked if it's added or not, so I'm not going to check this again. Okay, and what I am going to see that what is the preference. Okay, so my characters preference must be greater than stacks top. Okay, so it will check the preference. Fine, if its preference is greater than, that means it must be less than, not greater than, it must be less than the value. Preference will be greater but the value of a will be less now. So here if it's less than, then what we have to do, okay, after this one more thing we have to check that my what my count of stacks, whatever the character will be at top, that must be, wait, that must be greater than 0. Then and only then I have to do what I am going to see. Then and only then I am going to pop my element here. Okay, so here I have popped this out. Fine. Yeah, so till when I have to do this, see, I have to do this. Fine. Okay, now I'm going to do what, wait, okay, so what I'm going to do here, and it's not top, wait, it's peak here plus one more thing I have, it's also peak here, it's not top, it's peak here. Yeah, there's one more thing what I have to do when I'm going to pop something out, I have to mark it as false also. Okay, so I'm going to mark this text.pop as false also. Okay, so here I have marked it as false. Yeah, so I hope now my I have done everything. I have already popped it out whenever I am writing this st.pop, so it has already been popped. Okay, fine. So yes, so this is it. Now what I'm going to do here, now my stacks will be having some answer. Okay, so let's say I'm going to take something like this b a b c. Okay, so what it will be going to do, firstly I'm having some boolean array, and this is, let's say, count array. A is having 1, B is having 2 times, and C is only having 1. Okay, and boolean array, what boolean array is doing, A, B, C, A is false, B is false, C is also false. Fine. Yeah, so my string is, firstly it will be here for this for loop will be running, and this won't be happening because A is because currently A is false. Okay, this is boolean array and this is also boolean array. Fine, so this is false, so this will not run, this will also not run because while stack size is equals to 0 right now. Fine. Yep, so it will just push the character. I'm going to push the character. Okay, wait, it will just do what, it will just push the character, that means B, and what, it will be marking it as true. Sorry, this is B. Okay, and this is false, A is false, B is marking as true, and it's going to decrease its count. So here I am going to decrease its count as, so now I am at A. So now what I'm going to see, this for loop will run again. Fine. So firstly it will check whether this B is visited or not. This is not visited. A is visited or not because A is having false in this. Okay, so this if loop will not run. Okay, so I'll be entering towards this while loop. My stack size is greater than 0. Fine, and my character is less than stack peak or not. Okay, so my character is what right now, A, and A is less than stack peak. That is also true. Fine, this is also true. Now I'll be checking if my count of stack peak is greater than 0 or not. So my count is 1, that means it is greater than 0. So what I have to do, I have to pop it out and I have to mark it as false. Okay, so I'm going to mark B as false and I'm going to pop this out. I'm going to mark it as false and I'm going to pop it. I have already popped. Okay, so after this what I have to do, I have to push the element and I have to mark it as true. I am going to push the element, I have to mark it as true, and I have to decrease the count. I am pushed and I have to mark this as true. I have marked this as true and I am going to decrease the count of A. Okay, so now I am at B and I am going to check whether I am true or not. So I am not true. Okay, so I am not true. So what I am going to do here is this loop will not run, so this while loop will be checking stack size greater than 0 if my character is less than stack peak. So my character is not less than stack peak, it's greater than, so this while loop will also not run, so it will automatically just push itself and mark it as true and just decrease its count. Okay, so now it will be checking 6 C. So C's preference is less than, obviously greater than, that means C's preference is less than B, so it will just push itself because it's also not have been added, and it will decrease its count. So my answer will be this BAC. Okay, so now one thing what I am going to tell you, that if I am going to pop this out, and I will be getting CBA. So I'll be just entering this in some character array, and I'll be just reversing this. Okay, so see what I am going to do, or what I can do, I can create a string. Let's say I'm going to create a string, it is answer. Okay, initially I'm going to initialize this as, a blank string. Okay, so I just have to do what, I have to just append whatever the character is, st.pop. That's it. Until when? While my st.size is greater than 0, I just have to append. Okay, I just have to pop it out, and I just have to append it in the answer. Okay, and now my answer is having something. Let's say my stack was like this, ABC. Now my answer is what, CBA. Okay, I just have to iterate in the backward. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, I'm going to start the for loop for int I equals to what, s dot length, sorry, answer dot length, now answer dot length, whatever it is, -1, and I must be greater than equal to 0, greater than equal to 0, and I minus minus, and I have to do what, I just have to print the character system.out, print whatever the character is, that means what, answer dot caret I, that is it. Okay, so this is it, I hope. No, we have to print, we have to return this. Now we have to return the string. Okay, so let's say what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one more string, that is, let's say answer so far, whatever it is. Okay, so I'm going to create this string answer so far, and I'm just going to append this. Okay, so answer so far, just so far plus equal to this. Fine, and at last I have to do what, I just have to return my as. Let's see if there are errors or not. So wait, it's having some errors at 9th line. Okay, yeah, so it's not get, it's caret. Fine, it's caret I, it's not get. Yeah, so let's see, yes, it's accepted. Let's try to submit this out, and see if it's working or not. Okay, yeah, yes, it's accepted, all the test cases are getting passed. So I hope you understood this question, and if you are having any doubt, please watch this video again, and if you like the video, please hit the like button, and please share and subscribe our channel. Okay guys, so thank you, we'll meet in the next lecture. Bye bye, take care.